In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do the front differential oil. And we're going to use liquid moly 75W90 with the GL5 rating. The front differential requires 1 liter, and since this bottle is 1 liter, that's pretty much all that we are going to need to do the oil change for the front differential. Let's begin. So the first thing we have to do is get underneath the car and remove the bottom cover. Here's the front bottom cover, and the mid cover is down over there. I didn't film it. Felt it was pretty self-explanatory, nothing but nuts and bolts. So let's get underneath the car and show you where the front differential is. So this is where your front differential is. No way you can tell. There's a lot going on in here. So here you got your drain port for your oil, which you don't want to do. And you have your drain port for your differential right here. So not to get confused with the two. And the way you can tell is pretty much this is aligned with your front axle on your front car. So that's one easy way to know you're not changing out or loosening something you don't need to loosen. Drain plug right here. And then you have your fill plug, which is right here. And the first thing you gotta do is always remove your fill plug first. And then you can go ahead and remove your drain plug second. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove the fill plug. Because there's not enough room for me to put my ratchet from here to here, as you can tell, I don't have room at all for that torque, so I'm going to have to use an Allen key. Again, it's going to be an 8mm. This goes right here. There we go. Took a little bit of oomph. So here is the fill port. And just to keep note, these do come with an O-ring, so just be careful not to rip it or tear it or remove it, because we're going to have to reuse the same plugs again. And now, because we have all this room right now here, I'm just going to take the easy route and just go ahead and use my ratchet to loosen this up. And before I do that, put that pin, and there we go. Okay, then we're just gonna wait until the oil drips, remove the drain plug, and then just let it do its thing. Give it a few minutes or so to wait until it's completely drained. Then we'll go ahead and top that, not top it off, plug that up. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean the bottom of the front differential, make sure there's no dirt or anything in the threads. And as far as the plug goes, the fill plug and the drain plug are exactly the same. So it doesn't matter if you get confused or switch them around, because it'd be exactly the same. Just make sure that the threads are clean and that they both have their O-rings, which is very important. Okay, make sure all your threads are clean on your drain plug, and also make sure that the O-ring is there. I'm going to hand tighten it. It's always recommended to hand tighten it and not just go ahead and start wrenching on it, because you don't want to cross thread. Now that the drain plug is in, I'm going to go ahead with the 8mm Allen key and go ahead and torque it down to 30 foot-pounds of torque. Now I'm just going to go ahead and just clean the bottom with some brake clean and wipe it off. Make sure there's no old oil residue left on there. I'm going to put the hose in the fill port, which is right here. And then we're going to start pumping. Then there. Alright, so that's what you want to see right there. That's when we're full. And we're going to go ahead, remove the oil. Not the oil, the hose. And go ahead and hand and screw it, because you definitely don't want to be cross-threading. So just like the drain plug, it's going to be 30 foot-pounds of torque. The same is going to be also for the fill plug. But because, like I mentioned before, we don't have this much clearance for me to put in my my torque wrench in there, we're just going to have to do it by hand and just estimate what 30 foot-pounds of torque is and just hope for the best. Alright, here we go. Alright, that seems about good, because the more I push, it doesn't seem like the threads go any further, so that's good. And the reason why every torque is important, but this is the most important one because all the oil depends on this plug right here, that this isn't leaking, because here it should not have, the oil does not depend because the gravity points towards this way and not this way. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean up around here, make sure remove all any old oil residue, and just wait about like 10 minutes to make sure there's no leaks coming through. Alright, so it's been about 10 minutes. There's no new leaks on the drain plug, and nor is there any, I don't see any new leaks on the fill plug up here, so I think we're good to go. So we're done with the rear differential oil. Go ahead and install your lower cover, your engine covers, and then that's how you change the front differential oil on a 2013 Audi Q7.